Hello happy souls, welcome back to my channel. This is Charlotte with Happy Twins 1111. So I've got your favourite pick a card reading for you today. How's your person feeling? What are they thinking? That's what everyone wants to know. So let's do this. Take your time choosing a pile. You can douse over them if you'd like. I put the timestamps in the comments, and I personally like to look at the timestamps. I like to choose. I like to choose from the numbers. But there's no right or wrong way, just whatever pile or crystal you're drawn to. Pile number 1 is the Starchild Tarot with Amethyst. Pile number 2 is the Dark Mansion Tarot with Twin Quartz. And pile number 3 is the Vagabond Wild Tarot with Mika on Feldspar. It's a very high vibrational stone. I love it. So let's do this. I'm going to move piles 3 and 2 out the way, and we're going to get straight into it with pile 1. Now, remember to make a note of which pile you chose in the comments, because these are timeless readings, and the pile you've chosen today is right for you today, but there could be other piles that are right for you at other times. And by making a note in the comments, you'll know which ones you've watched already. Let's do this. How is your person thinking and feeling about you? Just hold your person in mind as I shuffle. How are they thinking and feeling about you? What do you need to know about what they are thinking and feeling? Okay, let's do this. We're going to get some oracle cards out as well. And there will be an extended reading today, so if this resonates, we'll take a deeper look in the extended. We have got the Sun in reverse, the 8 of Swords in reverse, the 3 of Wands, the 7 of Wands in reverse, the Knight of Cups in reverse, the 6 of Pentacles in reverse, the 4 of Cups in reverse, and the Page of Wands in reverse. Right, let's get some oracle cards. This is the Divine Masculine and Divine Feminine Reunited deck, but if you're interested in what decks I'm using, you can find them listed in the description box below. We've got Separation and Sacred Sexuality. Let's get some of these as well. This is the Divine Counterparts in Separation deck by Made for Love. You can find a link to her fabulous channel down below. Death to the Old and Union. And from the White Rose Guidance Divine Love Messages deck, you can find a link to her channel in the description box as well. Some have fallen out, so we're going to keep them. I believe you. You're a diamond of immense strength and beauty. I want to travel the world with you. And we're going to get some of these as well. This is the Emotional Intelligence deck by Made for Love. Joy. Empathetic. Stalemate energy. And finally, we're going to get a couple of these soulmate cards. I'll read these to you in a minute. Oh. Okay, let me check these are all in shot. Yes, they are. Fabulous. Okay, pile 1. How is your person thinking and feeling about you? The first card out was the Sun in reverse, clarified by the Knight of Cups in reverse. And I think, given the separation card as well, you know, this person's really sad. They're really sad and they don't feel at all brave enough to come forward. There has been some kind of release though, and this person's had some really powerful and important realizations. I mean, we've got this Death to the Old card here, and I really feel like whatever caused this separation, whatever has gone between you, you know, has been really significant in terms of allowing them to release some very limiting beliefs they had about you, about this connection. They're recognizing now that their lack of reciprocity is just wrong. It's not going to work in the long term for sure. There's definitely been some kind of awareness and awakening. But what I'm hearing about this person is that he's afraid to heal. You know, it feels like his entire life and identity has existed around some kind of anxiety or trauma. So he really doesn't know who he is. And, you know, outside of that trauma, he doesn't have any identity. It's like the unknown. And this is really terrifying to him. But there has been some kind of shift that has allowed him to have this awareness now that the way things have been is untenable. And the way he's behaving is just a trauma response. It's like he's closed off his heart space. He's not allowed love in or out. And it was just a trauma response. I'm trying to think of it's like a fear-based distraction, which if he didn't have, if he hadn't closed off his heart space, he'd have to acknowledge and feel the force of the emotion, and there's so much pain buried deep there. It's not because he doesn't want to love or to give love or to receive love, but it's almost like he has to let a lot of stuff out, if he opens up his heart. So this is definitely a person that I think is going through the dark night of the soul as well. And this really is a breaking down of the ego, and no one warned you about the amount of pain in growth. So it feels like this person's having a heart awakening, but right now, they're very much in the dark and they don't feel like they can come forward. And you just need to know it's not because of you, it's because of this transition, this transformation that they're going through. They do see you as their fulfillment with this Three of Wands. There's definitely an awareness from this person that you have a very deep spiritual connection. Indeed, it says down here, close your eyes and feel your spiritual connection to everything on this planet. Every person, every animal, tree and flower, feel the ocean, the wind, the sky, all in perfect harmony, moved by the one eternal flow of love. And I really feel like he is now receptive to that spiritual awareness. Something has shifted in him that has brought him out of his shell, out of this kind of apathetic kind of state of solitude he's been in. Four of Cups can be quite a self-absorbed energy when it's reversed. This is someone that's just so wrapped up in their own bubble, their own pain, their own trauma, their own anxiety, that they don't have access to that awareness, either emotional or psychic. So the psychic awareness has definitely blown open here, and he's seeing the truth is the word. He's seeing the truth of what exists between you. And his barriers are down. And I do feel like with this Page of Wands, he does want to take action, but he feels so unprepared to do so. He feels very disabled right now by the extent of his pain. And he doesn't feel at all prepared for anything, really. It still feels like a really... it's a frightened energy. It's a very nervous, very apprehensive, very resistant energy. I do feel like this person has a lot of narcissistic people around them as well. I'm hearing things like that didn't happen. If it did, it wasn't that bad. If it was, it wasn't my fault. And if it is, I didn't mean to. And if I did, you made me do it. That kind of energy. It feels like he's going round and round in circles in some kind of really painful conflict as well. And so what's really coming across here is that whilst his heart is opening, his psychic senses are awakening, he's kind of stuck. Joy and empathy is starting to flow. He's definitely starting to recognize that his lack of reciprocity cannot sustain this connection, and that there's enough care in him breaking through that open heart space to want to kind of make this work, to want to try now. And I'm hearing this as a big leap forward for this person. But you need to understand that they really have been closed off for a very long time. And so this perceived rejection of you, was not about you at all. He really wasn't able to offer anything. He really wasn't able to, just open up at all. And I'm hearing this has been very, very frustrating for you. But, this person does know that you're meant to be together. We've got sacred sexuality and union here as well. And I'm hearing that in particular on the astral realm and within your kind of communication, in your dream state, this has already happened. You're both on the same page spiritually and thinking about one another in positive ways, in loving ways. And that's having a really beautiful impact on the connection that, both of you are able to release the anxiety you feel in your 3D self for this connection and the coming together. But actually in your dream state, you're very much connected, and it feels like it's starting to filter through. Now, I'm hearing as well that he's saying hurt people hurt people. And he needs you to understand that he knows he's hurt you, but it was just because he was hurting. And it's like a pattern of pain, isn't it, that's passed on. But he is saying there is an awareness of this now. There is an awareness, and that he wants to rise above it. He doesn't want to reside in that energy anymore, but he still doesn't know how to release himself from it. So this one here says positive and loving thoughts are instrumental in creating positive, loving relationships. Fear and doubt only serve to create greater uncertainty. Think more about what is right in your relationship and less on what you think is wrong. And this is kind of talking about what I was saying. I feel like you're both doing this now. There's been a long enough separation for you that you're both able to just kind of start thinking about the positive aspects of this connection and just enjoying daydreaming and fantasizing about how it was and how it could be. And that energy is powerful. It's almost breathing new life into your connection. And these are beautiful cards and words from your person here. You're a diamond of immense strength and beauty. I believe you, and I want to travel the world with you. So this person really is forward thinking. They're thinking about you in their future. They believe in this connection. They believe in you. They see your strength, and they see how beautiful and just glowing you are. So this person does see you, but right now they're unable to take action. They're going through this, really deeply transformative process. Let's get some charms for you as well. So we've got 4. I'm going to get 2 more. We've got the white moth. Fake news, I believe. The measuring tape. I'm trying, and that's enough. And the ammonite. So the moth, it could be a butterfly, I guess, but this is obviously a symbol of transformation. And with the colour being white, it's a transformation in the crown space. It's a transformation from the spiritual perspective, and this person is definitely waking up. But these 3 that all came out together really fascinated me. We've got the tape measure, fake news, and I believe. And straight away what jumped out at me is that this person, they are beginning to believe and understand what the spiritual connection between you is, but they're trying to be measured in their approach to what they're reading and learning about it. They're trying to find out, what's real and what isn't. And I feel like this is where this fake news is coming in. They're not trusting themselves. The tape measure suggests that there's still this questioning mind, this lack of certainty, trying to apply logic and reason and the kind of 3D senses and way of working things out to these very spiritual matters, and kind of getting lost somewhere in between. So I do think this person is doing a lot of research. It feels like their psychic senses have definitely come online. They're noticing their own intuition being brought to life. And, I'm trying, and that's enough. And I do feel like there is this one pops out a lot, and I always read it differently. And the energy that's come through for it today is that this kind of psychic experimentation that they're dabbling with, this kind of need to know and learn and understand and practice, this is actually quite empowering for them. It actually feels like this is something they can try, and they're not beating themselves up for not making progress with. It's kind of interesting enough and private enough in their own little world as well that they don't have to share it with anyone. So they're not feeling any pressure. So it does feel like this whole psychic opening is really positive for them at the moment. The ammonite is really interesting. I mean, the first thing I noticed about an ammonite is obviously the spiral of life. And for me, that is ascension and growth. In fact, I was having this conversation with a friend of mine recently about the spiral and how, you know, we literally move up from the center outwards, growing all the time. But the ammonite also represents ancient times and patterns, you know, and it's also slow, steady movement. It can represent cycles. And the fact that this is a fossilized one would suggest as well that they're processing and transmuting a lot of karma at the moment, which is, you know, what is also pushing this transformation through. So I'm going to take this over to the extended reading. We're going to take a deeper look at what they're feeling about your connection and what their intentions are. So if this has resonated with you, you can join me over there. The link is in the description box below or down below in the comments near the timestamps. If you didn't resonate, well, thank you for tuning in anyway. If you did enjoy it, please hit the like button. It really helps my channel to grow and I super duper appreciate it. And if you would like to subscribe, that means you will get notifications every time I post. So hit that sub button and I will see you soon. Lots of love. Bye. Hello, pile 2. Right, let's do this. How is your person thinking and feeling about you? And whilst I'm shuffling, don't forget to make a note in the comments of what pile you chose, because these are all timeless readings. So all of my pick a card piles are organised in a playlist, but you can come back to them at any time. There may be another pile that's relevant to you another day. So by making a note of which one you've watched already, we all know where we're at. Okay, let's do this. This is a fabulous deck we're using for you today, the Dark Mansion Tarot. And we're asking, what is your person thinking and feeling? What's going on in their head that you need to know about? Let's do this. So we have the Knight of Wands, the Ten of Wands, the Eight of Pentacles in reverse. Oh, 2 come out there. The Chariot in reverse and the Two of Swords. Interesting. The King of Cups in reverse. Judgment in reverse. Strength in reverse. And the Ten of Cups. Wow. Let's get some oracle cards as well. This is the Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine Reunited deck. If you're interested in what decks I'm using, I do list them all in the description box below. We've got God of Awakening, Rolmokka, God of Wisdom, Thoth, and we're going to get some of the Divine Counterparts and Separation cards as well. These are by Made for Love. You can find a link to her fabulous channel in the description box below. Let's do this. Balance. There are drastic changes in my life right now. Okay, and we're going to get some of these Divine Love Messages cards from White Rose Guidance, link to her channel in the description box. Also, so many fabulous readers for you to check out. Right, my whole body burns at the thought of you. I would just hurt you more right now. I need to be alone. You are worth fighting for. And from the Soulmate cards, I will read these in a moment. And finally, we're going to get a couple of this. This is Emotional Intelligence deck, also by Made for Love. How's this person thinking and feeling about you? Satisfied, lazy, on the defense. Right, I'm just going to check these are all in shot. Yes, wonderful. Okay. How's this person thinking and feeling about you? For sure, there is a tremendous amount of passion at the moment. Very strong sexual energy, but this person certainly is prone to kind of being emotionally manipulative. And this is really a survival tactic that they use. But right now, they're really feeling very much out of their depths. It feels like their life is somewhat turned upside down, perhaps by the recent events with the pandemic. Their work life, for sure, is very unstable right now. And this has really challenged their ego self, because a lot of their self-worth was based in their material and earthly accomplishments. So whilst they have a lot of passion for you, this person right now is very burdened. They're not feeling strong at all. They're feeling very weak. It feels like there may have been some kind of revelation recently about the spiritual nature of your connection, which they're really uncomfortable with. I believe as well this person may already be married, because we've got the Ten of Cups here with the Two of Swords, and it feels like they're terribly indecisive. The Chariot came out here in reverse. The Chariot for me is all about the divine plan, divine intervention, being in that divine flow of energy that's always guiding us in the right direction. And so for this to come out with the Two of Swords, the card of indecision, the card of, refusing to see the truth, refusing to tap into our intuition or the emotional nature of our, the connection, which we see down here as well with the King of Cups in reverse. This is really about them, I think, wondering, do I leave this stable kind of family unit that I've built, or, am I going to be aligning with some kind of random spiritual woo-woo stuff? And I'm sorry to deliver that in such a blunt way, but it really does feel like right now, even though they feel this incredibly strong magnetism to you, especially in their sexual body, in the sacral chakra, they feel that pull to you, and it's so irresistible. But there's so much riding on it, and they wish they didn't have to think about it, is the energy that's coming through. So it feels like this person is for sure probably being quite standoffish. But, again, this sexual energy, my whole body burns at the thought of you. I feel like they cannot shake this feeling within them that is just you. They're becoming really aware that there is something deep, and you've mentioned something deep, and they're just not comfortable with it. It absolutely terrifies them. I feel like this is where this defensive energy is coming from. You are worth fighting for. The reality is that they know there is something here, but right now they're not ready to face it. Part of them really wants to kind of rise up and just grab it, but it's like this lazy energy as well, that contradiction. It's going to require so much upheaval that they're terrified of actually taking those steps. But it does say there are drastic changes in my life right now. We also have God of Awakening and God of Wisdom. And this is what I mean about whatever this spiritual stuff is you shared with them, they cannot unknow. It does feel like it's helped things turn a corner for you. They really... They don't want to think about it. They don't want to believe it even, but they can't unknow it, and they can't shake the thought of it. They are ruminating about it. It is a resistance to the intuitive nature of it, is what I'm feeling, especially with that Two of Swords energy and how clearly this moon stands out, and it's also reflected in the water. They're just really rejecting their emotional body right now. I do feel like as well with that Chariot in reverse that there is a feeling of now is not the right time, because the Chariot in reverse would seem to be out of alignment with the divine plan. So they feel that pull to it, but then they want to fight for it, and they're just not ready to. It does feel like there's been some conflict here as well. I'm hearing tired of fighting, tired of explaining feelings, tired of complaining, tired of everything being my fault. And I'm not sure if that's coming from you, the viewer, or from them, but it does feel like an energy of defeat, of just, things had gotten so difficult that there's just no more kind of energy left over now for that same kind of petty battle that seemed to be ongoing between you. And they want you to let go of the idea that this should have been different. It's like, it's an energy of stop trying to calm the storm. The storm, or even thinking that you have that kind of control. Just let the storm be, and let it settle. I'm hearing it's just going to dissipate, like the energy is just going to fizzle out. And at the moment, your person, they're letting the darkness of others take their light. You know, they're still learning where to draw a line. So it does feel like probably the conflict between you, because they haven't got that control, has felt darker than it should be. So I'm hearing this is conditioning from the childhood experience. You know, this is how they've heard people communicate. So when people criticize and undermine you, they're just telling their story, not yours. And they're learning that. And this is what I meant about that emotional manipulation. It's, you know, it's someone projecting their pain. You know, it's projecting their pain. And I'm hearing also that this person can't heal in the same environment that's making them that way. So they are going to need to move away at some point to find that balance. And I feel like this is what these changes are. There's definitely been an understanding now that they've got to fight for it, but they just don't have the energy at the moment. You know, it's easier for them to stay where they are and to just kind of sit this out. They're hoping it's going to pass, is what I'm hearing. This one says, you, my beloved, are like a ray of golden sunshine. I breathe in your love and all of my concerns just melt away and all that is left is pure joy. Thank you, my beloved soulmate. And this one says, your spiritual awareness is growing and so too is your sexuality. Sensuality is heightened and this has a magical effect on the one you love. A sacred union is reborn. Love is the present moment. And these are really beautiful energies. You know, this feels like for me, the thought of you is actually their sanctuary, this beautiful sexual energy that is so strong for, you know, in them and for you, you know, by both of you tapping into this. And I think this came out in part one. I've had a break between readings. I can't remember too much of what I said, but you know, it's saying here sensuality is heightened and has this magical effect on the one you love. And I feel like this is where you're still loving each other. This is where it feels safe. I feel like when you two are physically intimate, it's like everything else just melts away. And so they really do get lost in the thought of you and enjoying that idea of togetherness with you. So, you know, I think for them, the first step of change is that they're becoming mature enough and aware enough to recognize their own kind of bullshit and their own excuses. You know, they're starting to develop this awareness. This has been a theme, actually. It does feel like this is an energy, not just for your person, but within the divine masculine collective right now. But they're still learning. And I'm hearing as well that they're asking you to look at love from another perspective as well, that it's not a need. It's in you. When you crave the love of another, you're avoiding this responsibility in yourself. And they're reminding you as well that when you judge and criticize them, you're revealing unhealed parts of yourself. So there's a suggestion here, you know, that this awakening and wisdom is occurring for both of you. Their higher self is reminding you that, you know, you can't pile positivity on top of all of this wounding and just expect this connection to thrive. At some point, you both have to have that emotional awareness. So your wounds won't disappear on their own. You know, they're just going to be passed on. That thing about that I was saying about that patterning coming through. So they do need you to be aware as well of what's happening in your world, you know, and to take off your mask as well and to show up as who you are. Let me get some charms as well. Let's pull some charms for you. What else they need you to know about their feelings and what they're thinking. Let's get two more. Okay, well, just not the camera. We've got the party sloth. I'm trying. There's two people outside. Friends don't lie in the ammonite. So I feel like there's a lot of bravado in this one, because I feel like this sloth is certainly not a party animal, but it likes to be perceived to be. And I feel like this is them feeling like they still have to kind of pretend to be someone they're not. They're still not entirely comfortable around you. I feel like, you know, you have seen this very cheeky, fiery, carefree type of energy perhaps from them, but in reality I feel like this person is quite anxious. That frustration that came through earlier, you know, I'm tired of the complaining, I'm tired of it always being my fault, And it does feel like that defensive, indignant energy is coming through here as well. You know, it's kind of like I'm trying, and, you know, I'm trying as much as I'm able to, and, you know, what my energy and its present state allows me. So you've got to remember that it takes time for them to absorb that understanding. Now, as soon as this one came out, I kind of got this idea that it was wrong and that I'm meant to read it differently, because I don't think it's necessarily two people outside for them from the perspective of feeling withdrawn and anxious. I just feel like it's almost like that life has lost its luster. So I feel like this person has been engaging in really distracting behaviours for quite a long time. And they're kind of seeing the shallow nature of that pursuit of distraction. And they're learning to recognise what happens when they slow down long enough to pay attention to their own thoughts, you know, without that external influence. And there's definitely, this pertains to family, I think, in particular, and like ancestral patterns for sure. There's some kind of karmic cycles going on here to do with communication. And these are part of the changes, because we've got friends don't lie as well. And I feel like they've figured out that, you know, actually their intuition is starting to kind of, I guess, be brought to life. And it feels like they're judging everyone differently, but they're not yet judging themselves, is what I'm hearing, which is where their focus needs to be in. So they're still projecting somewhat, but there is, this feels like the beginnings of an ego breakdown, but not quite there yet. Right now, there's a tremendous amount of resistance, certainly with that, you know, that 10 of Wands energy, that just feeling burdened by this idea of awakening and by this idea of healing, but cannot deny the recognition of that soul tie with you. So really kind of confusing energies. I'm going to take this over to the extended so that we can take a deeper look at what they're feeling. I really want to understand what they want, and also get some guidance for you from their higher self in terms of what you can best do to support them and move this connection along for its highest good. So I'm sending you lots of love and thanks for joining me today. If you would like to join me at the extended, you can find a link in the description box below and in the comments. Otherwise, thank you so much for being here and sharing this with me. Do hit the like button if you enjoyed it. It does really help my channel to grow, and I appreciate it so much. And if you would like to tune into more videos like this, hit the subscribe button and you'll receive updates every time I post. Thank you so much. Bye. Hello, pile 3. Right, let's do this. How is your person thinking and feeling about you? You've chosen the Vagabond Wild Tarot with Mika. And we're going to use some oracle cards as well. So let's see what you need to know about your person. If you haven't already, make sure you make a note in the comments of which pile you chose. All of these readings are timeless, so it could be that there's another pile from this reading that will suit you at another time. But by making a note of what pile you've watched already, you can make sure that you're not re-watching, I guess, although sometimes it's useful to do that. Right, Chariot wanted to come out. What's that? That's the Ace of Swords in reverse. The Seven of Pentacles. These are really slidey, these cards. The Queen of Wands. The Queen of Cups. And the Nine of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles in reverse. The Three of Cups in reverse. I've got to be honest with you, this energy is annoying me already, because I think you've probably heard this before. It just feels like excuses. It's really triggering me. But I feel like this is someone you've been on and off with for a long time, and it's a cycle that's repeating itself. And you're probably tired of hearing it. I'm tired of hearing it. Unconditional love, energy. This is the Divine Masculine and Divine Feminine Reunited deck. You can find a list of the decks I'm using in the description box below if you're interested. And this deck is Divine Counterparts in Separation by Made for Love. Wow, they wanted to come out. Our spiritual beliefs are so different. My love for you is deeper than the ocean. We're going to get some of these cards from White Rose Guidance as well. They're called the Divine Love Messages deck. Don't think I don't care about you, because I really do. I live for your smile and would die for your kiss. What I would give to run my fingers through your hair. Beautiful. We're going to get some of these soulmate messages as well. Oh, there's one, and that one's sticking out. So I'll read these from in a moment. So I'm going to get some more of these as well. This is the Emotional Intelligence deck, also by Made for Love. If you haven't checked out her lovely channel, please do. The link is down below. Contemplative, angry, and heartbroken. Okay, let me check that this is all in shot. Yes, it is. So, as I said at the beginning, this is the energy coming through here is you've been waiting for this person for a really long time. I feel like you've been really, really patient. And this person has been tangled up with a karmic partner, for sure. We've got the Chariot here, the Queen of Cups. This is Cancerian energy. The Chariot is Cancerian energy, and the Queen of Cups is a strong Cancerian energy. Over here you've got the Queen of Wands, Pisces, Aries, clarified by the Three of Cups in reverse. So a lot of water energy here. We've got the Queen of Pentacles in reverse there as well. She's Virgo, Capricorn, what is wrong with me? Taurus energy. So I just feel like this person's been on and off, on and off, on and off in every area of their life. They're really struggling, and I feel like this person does have a lot of awareness. They have a lot of spiritual awareness. You've got unconditional love, you've got energy, and even though it says our spiritual beliefs are so different, I feel like this is a bigger bone of contention than you realise with this person, because I'm hearing that they're very uncommunicative when it comes to spiritual nature of your journey, but they know. They just don't like this truth. We've got the Ace of Swords in reverse here, with the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. You know, this truth makes them feel very inadequate. They don't feel like they can live up to this kind of ideal of this beautiful soulmate connection. This isn't something that happens to people like them. And so I feel like they're constantly battling, fighting, resisting, pushing, pulling, running, chasing. It's just that on and off energy that you've probably just been going around in circles with for ages. And I feel your tiredness. You know, it really came through. The first energy that came through was just good. Oh, you must be so tired of hearing this. It's not going to be easy for you. So, you know, what I'm really feeling is that there's definitely been a separation as well. And it does indeed say here, in order to cope with separation from a loved one, we need to realise that spiritually, we are always connected to those we love. Neither distance nor time can separate that which is united by love. And I think this is in part why it's so difficult for you, because you can't disconnect from them spiritually, and you feel them with you all the time. You know, no matter what you're doing, you cannot move for bumping into some thought of them. And they feel that too. You know, they really feel that too. And they're reminding you here that that's what unites you, that you're never really separate. The other one here says, do not fear the current changes. All is happening in accordance with your divine plan. The current events are paving the way to a brighter future. Love illuminates all darkness. Remain positive and light. As I said, I feel like it's really difficult for you to receive these messages today. I feel like this reading has caught you at a low ebb when, you know, your patience is wearing thin and you're tired of being this other person. I feel like that's what's caused the separation, that you've rejected that role now. You know, you've said, go and deal with your karmic situation. I'm not going to be in the middle of it anymore. I don't want to be waiting anymore. But this person really wants you to wait. And they're just saying here, especially with that Queen of Pentacles in reverse, you know, they can't offer you that kind of stable, grounded, committed relationship that you want, but they are drawing your awareness to the unconditional love and that energy that exists between you, and that you're not really separate. And they know this deep down. You can see here as well that these people are healing one another, and these two women here are with children. So there's a lot of inner child healing occurring for both of you. But this person isn't ready to face their divinity. They wish that they could. And they do wish it was so much easier for them. I do feel like you've spoken fairly harshly with them, because we've got this, angry, heartbroken and contemplative energy. And, I feel like they're kind of a little bit stuck in this at the moment, because they are stuck in fear. And, fear is a liar. It wants you to stay stuck, doesn't it? It wants you to stay where you are. It feels like there's a definite blockage there. There's something you've said to them and it may not have even been, it may not have been a real slight, It's like, it could have been something that they've perceived as a slight that you're not recognizing would have even been even remotely offensive to them. Because I feel like it's, like sometimes the fault that you perceive in another, it's not even there. It's like a projection of our mind. It's like how we're conditioned to see enemies and to make ourselves right or supreme. It's that ego fear that this person's rooted in. And they've not realised that, they don't have to focus on that. I feel like this person hears everything negative. It's like when you say anything positive, when you try and overwhelm them with kindness, they're just kind of feeling into that for something with negative connotation. It feels like you can't please this person energy. So you may have tried really hard to prop up their ego and to heal them as well, is what I'm hearing. And it's just fallen on deaf ears. It feels like you've kind of finally given up and stood in your power and said no. And they're finding that really hard. But, they are thinking about it. And they do care about you. I mean, these cards up here really demonstrate, how much they do think about you and how much they can't run away from that energetic connection of unconditional love either. It says here, my love for you is deeper than the ocean. Don't think I don't care, because I do. And it's clear this person hasn't demonstrated that. They've not made it a regular habit to overwhelm you with anything that's remotely affirming and can reassure you of their love. But they are asking you to be patient. They're saying this will pass. It might pass like a kidney stone, but it's going to pass. And they just need more time. They do care about you. They really need you to remember that you're not really separated at all. There's no separation. So let me pull some charms as well. Let's get some charms for this person. How are they feeling and thinking about you? Right. 3, 4. I want one more. Okay. So we have got good vibes, babe of power, hard times, the stethoscope, the whales, and I'm trying. So these two, I'm trying that and that's enough, and F you. This is quite indignant energy. Whatever it is you said to them has really burned. You've really rubbed salt in a very old ego wound, and they're feeling pretty indignant, pretty demoralised, quite frustrated. And they never felt good enough in the first place. So this has triggered a whole ream of anger and cynicism and resentment. And I'm hearing doubt as well. But what's really interesting is it's immediately followed up by these. We've got good vibes. We've got babe with the power, and this beautiful yin-yang symbol represented by the whales. And I really do think that they're not going to stay in this angry energy. As much as they try and be angry with you, as much as they get frustrated, it always comes back round. It's just the light balance in the dark. There is unconditional love and powerful healing energy in this connection. And ultimately they know that. They know what's really in your heart. And I think it's really been really cathartic for them to see this kind of more authentic version of you, because you've probably never spoken to them like that before. You know, you've probably never had to be that firm with them. But I do feel like you're making a more conscious decision to put love behind everything you say and do. Because you recognised perhaps that you were a little bit more firm than you needed to be. But this person just needs you to listen right now. You know, they're going through some hard times. And I do feel this is definitely that energy of really challenging you to love unconditionally in the true sense, because it does feel like you're exhausted and you're tired and you're frustrated with this person. It feels like your pride has been dented, and they know this. And I feel like, you know, they do need more time. They're not ready to come forward, but they are asking you to kind of be there in the 5D and to continue, you know, allowing that unconditional flow of love and energy, because it is so healing for both of you. It really is. But, you know, this person does care about you. They're just very much stuck right now, stuck with some very difficult magnetic karmic situation that they, you know, that magnetism will continue to exist between them and that karmic partner until the karma is resolved and the lessons are resolved. And you really need to try and just allow the space for that to happen. I know it's so hard for you now. As I said, you know, they do want you to be patient, and yet they promise you nothing. And I understand how frustrating that energy is, to be devoted to someone that's, you know, really not demonstrating any reciprocity or even evidence of wanting to come forward. So very frustrating energies for you. You know, it does appear, as I said, that this person spiritually feels you, and they want you to feel into that too. So I really hope that was helpful for you, Pathfinder. I'm going to take this over to the extended reading. I'm going to take a deeper look at what this person is thinking and feeling, what they want, and what you can do to support one another through the next phase of your journey. So if this resonated for you, you can find a link for that in the description box below. Also in the comments by the timestamps, and please do give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. It really helps my channel to grow, and I super appreciate it. And thank you so much for tuning in and subscribing. I'll see you next time. Lots of love. Bye.